Good morning. Monday, April the 17th. It looks like the rain's finished and we're going to have a sunny, warm day today. Thank you, Lord. We're going straight into the King James Bible, the book of Luke. And this time we're starting on chapter 14, verses 1 to 24. Let's get the picture. I like to have Jesus in the picture. Most of this is written in red. This is Jesus talking. And it came to pass, as he went into the house of one of the chief Pharisees to eat bread on the Sabbath day, that they watched him. And behold, there was a certain man before him which had the dropsy. And Jesus, answering, spake unto the lawyers and Pharisees, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day? They held their peace. And he looked at him, and healed him, and let him go. And answering them, saying, Which of you shall have an ass or an ox fallen into a pit, and will not straightway pull him out on the Sabbath day? And they could not answer him again to these things. And he put forth a parable to those which were bidden, when he marked how they chose out of the chief rooms, saying unto them, When thou art bidden of any man to a wedding, sit not down at the highest room, lest a more honourable man than thou be bidden of him. And he that bade thee, and him that come and say to thee, Give this man place, and thou begin with shame to take the lowest room. But when thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he that bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, Friend, go up higher. Then thou shalt have worship in the presence of them that sit at meat with thee. For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. Then he said also to him that bade him, When thou makest dinner or a supper, call not thy friends, nor thy brethren, neither thy kinsmen, nor thy rich neighbours, lest they also bid thee again, and a recompense be made thee. But when thou makest a feast, call the poor, the maimed, the lame, the blind, and thou shalt be blessed. For they cannot recompense thee, for thou shalt be recompensed at the resurrection of the just. And when one of them that sat at meat with him heard these things, he said unto him, Blessed is he that shall eat bread in the kingdom of God. Then said he unto him, A certain man made a great supper, and bade many, and sent his servant at supper time to say to them that were bidden, Come, for all things are now ready. And they all with one consent began to make excuse. The first said unto him, I have brought a piece of ground, and I must needs go and see it. I pray thee, have me excused. And another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I go to prove them. I pray thee, have me excused. And another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come. So that servant came and showed his lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, Go out quickly into the streets and the lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor, and the maimed, and the halt, and the blind. And the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room. And the Lord said unto the servant, Go out into the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. For I say unto you, that none of those men which were bidden shall taste of my supper. Jesus is telling us we have to overcome our pride. We have to be humble. I mean, this isn't kind of like, well, it would be better if, maybe if you could. No, he's saying we must. I don't want to get back into what I was talking about yesterday, but unfortunately, it does lead into it. In schools, we're taught to perform well for reward. I can remember just in kindergarten, we'd come home with a little star stuck on our head because we'd done well at I don't know, painting something or art or playing with toys or putting stuff away, The teacher would reward you and you'd come home with this star stuck on your head. Mom, look what I got. I got a star stuck in my head. I did well at school. And of course, it leads on and on, Every season there would be a grading at the end and you'd get a report card and take it home. And by the way, I've got my kindergarten report card. Of all the things that I have from my childhood, I have my kindergarten report card. And one of the things it says on there is, Christopher plays well with others. Oh boy. But that's been our goal, hasn't it? Is to receive a reward here on earth. We've been instilled with that concept to be rewarded here on earth for everything that we do. I can't think of a single thing that I've been asked to do that there wasn't a reward behind it. And now apparently in schools, you even get a reward for participation, because they don't want to make those that didn't succeed in obtaining certain goals, they didn't want them to feel any less. So everybody gets a reward. I can understand there's a certain amount of goodness about that, but at the same time, it's now encompassing everybody. I guess they felt that only the top ones were getting the benefits of reward, and there was a whole group, probably 80% of the class, that weren't getting rewarded, and they wanted to encompass them into that system whereby you get rewarded here on earth. And of course, we all know where that comes from, don't we? Being rewarded with earthly things. And Jesus is telling us, I guess not many people, because of COVID days now, invite people into meals, but we do go out to meals. We do invite people to go to meals with us, and, I guess one of the ways would be that we could just turn around and you say, you know what? I don't know how that would work, but, someone that you wouldn't normally invite to a meal, invite them, become new friends. They may not be able to reward you back, and that's a good thing. Their humbleness will be demonstrated in receiving. Your humbleness will be demonstrated in knowing that you're not going to get anything back. And it all goes back to, let not your right hand know what your left hand is doing. What you do in secret, the Father sees in secret and rewards you openly. His open reward is in heaven. This is where we're laying our treasures up. So how can we put this into modern day application? What Jesus has told us? Pretty much exactly as he said, It may be that there's a neighbor down the road who lives on their own. And maybe because of COVID fears doesn't get out much and still wouldn't come to your house. Well, take them a meal. Say, here, You know, hey, we cooked up plenty tonight, and you know, I just wanted to be able to share this with you. Is that okay? And, you know, offer them a meal. I don't see many people turning down a free meal. Hey, we got a free ham for Easter from Giant Superstore. Nobody turns down free food. So it's a way of applying Jesus' words to your life. If we can do that, then the Logos word is speaking to us, isn't it? And it's not just food, it could be anything. I mean, now the season has started. I mean, I'm mowing grass every 3 days. Every 3 days. If you have a neighbor that is struggling to maintain their garden, it may not be mowing the grass, it may be pulling out the weeds, because the weeds are growing just as fast as the grass before the flowers and other plants can take hold, you know. Hey, just get down on your knees and pull a few weeds. Get the weed whacker out and trim up the pathways and help them out, you know. Whatever way we can. I know we live in a time of prosperity. And to be honest, you know, we don't live in a rich, in a dense urban area. We don't live in a city environment where there is so much disparity amongst people, and there's a lot of people that are struggling. We're fortunate that we live in an area of the country here, in the countryside, rural towns, that most people are doing good. But there are those that need help. There's widows that need help. There's old people that need help. And there's people that you may not even realize need help. You know, you might think, well, he's capable, you know. He should be able to do that okay. Well, he might not, you know. He might not. He might be working hard at work all day. I mean, real hard. And with the warm temperatures, he comes home exhausted and just is physically beaten down and can't get out there and do whatever it is, you know. If you see your neighbor painting his barn or the side of the house or a garage, you know, come over, put on your old clothes, grab a brush, say, hey, can I help you? 2 of us will get it done twice as quick, you know. In the fall, if someone's struggling to bag up leaves, hey, let me hold the bag and you gather and put them up. Or here, you hold the bag and I'll gather and pick them up. 2 of us will get it done quicker. You see your neighbor unloading logs at the back of his truck to store up ready for the winter for the wood stove. Give him a hand to stack the logs. You may have a gas furnace and there's no way he can return that favor. Don't matter. That's perfect. You know? Look out for those opportunities. A lady struggling with shopping, putting it in the back of her car. Your neighbor, when she's getting it out of the back of the car and she's struggling, go across and help her. Say, ma'am, can I help you? Even if it's just taking the cart back from her car to the corral near the store. Say, here, ma'am, let me take that for you. There's a lot of ways we can help people. We just have to open our eyes and look. Not be so self-centered. Not walk with your head down all the time and try and ignore the world, you know. Just get on with your own life. If I don't look at them, I don't have to help them. I can ignore it. I can just go through and get home and sit down and watch TV and have a cup of coffee and I'll be okay. No. Look for those opportunities. Because God's looking for an opportunity to bless you because he loves you and I love you too. Have a great day now. Have a great day. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.